All right, so hey y'all. I decided to do my presentation on something called Elementary, and it's basically a storytelling website where you can create like little digital stories and everything. So it's really cool. So how it works. So this first page that you come to is my profile. But they have like different options. You can create a profile as like a student, a teacher, just someone that wants to write stories. But I chose teacher just so I could see like the education side of things. And so I was messing around with it just so I could do something for this class. And this is kind of like what I came up with.
Welcome class. Today I will be showing you guys how to create a comic for your final project that you are going to create on this website. Once upon a time, long ago, in the midst of time when the world was very young.
So they just have like different things. You can like speak over the characters. You can type stuff in the box that you can see here. And they have different people and characters and backgrounds and stuff, which is really neat. But yeah, so I just created a little story. But also it is so nice because everything is set up to be like very easy for teachers, I guess. So like it literally took me a second to do this, and I imported our Google Classroom, like our test class, and now you have like a class page for it, which is really cool. And you can like add assignments, people, and you can see like the activity of your students here on the right side of the screen. So like Cameron and Maggie, y'all never logged in. But yeah, so it's really cool that you can see their status. So I thought it was neat that they had the classroom option on there. And then also there's like options. You don't just have to create on here. You can also look at other stories and see like other lesson plans and stuff. And they even have like a virtual field trip option where you sign up and this instructor goes through something with them and then does like an activity with them. So I thought that was really neat too, that it's not just a site that you can have your students create stuff on, but you can also use it for like field trips or lesson planning, assignments for your classroom, stuff like that. So, and they have a ton of different options, which I thought was really neat. And then when you're actually creating the story, this is what it looks like. So write a new story. It kind of gives you a template that you can base off of. And like, here are all the different backgrounds that I was talking about. They have a lot. But some of them you can see are pro. So there is like paid versions of this. But there is a free version that you can use with your students, which is nice. But the paid version does like allow you to upload your own images. So like if I was teaching, I would definitely do that. But they also have animations and they don't have a lot of those. Like I would definitely want to pay for the version so we could create like our own animations. And then images and stuff. And like I said, if you pay for it, you can upload your own. Then this is what the text would look like. So you just drag it in. They have little widgets. But yeah, just drag your little people in. And then if you want to do like recordings and stuff, voiceovers, you would click this button. And then to like implement it, you would just click that button at the top. And you would click the sound that you want. And then when you would want it to happen, like on the page start, when I click it, when I drag it, stuff like that. And then you would just connect them and then that would happen. So that's really neat. honestly, when I was first looking at this, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to do this. But it's really nice because they have these tutorials. So, like, how to animate, and then it's just like a little video showing you how to do everything. So, that was really, really helpful when I was learning it. So, yeah, very easy to use once you like go through the tutorials and stuff. So, let's delete this. Yeah, so I thought it was very cool. All right, let's go back to the presentation. So how students could use this in the student design process. First, they could like identify their topic, what they're writing their story on, or in my instance, like if they're translating something, what they want to translate and how they want to design it. So kind of just one, identifying the topic based off of what I give them. So then after that, they would start researching and generating their own ideas, like what graphics and stuff they want to use, backgrounds. Do they want to include voiceovers? Do they just want to do text, stuff like that? And then the third step is to storyboard or write their script. So depending on if they're doing a translation of something, they would just create their storyboard. Or if they were writing a script like their own in Latin, that's when they would start doing this after they've already kind of like generated their ideas and everything. And then it would be the initial production. So kind of like a rough draft. They would start working on it, pretty much have it done, create it to what it should be. And then step 5, they would present it. So in my classroom, I would probably do this as like present to your peers, get feedback, something like that. So then there's collaboration, but also they're getting feedback and I could take a look at them too and give feedback. So, and then step 6 would be to come back to it, revise it, and then publish it on our class website on elementary. And also like if we were using Google Classroom or something. And then from there, we could do like a little presentation day, or I could just go through them and grade them and everything. But yeah, so it fits really well in the student design process because you're literally designing like a story, which is really neat. So here are some of the benefits and challenges that I found. So I kind of already mentioned some of these, but one benefit was how easy it connected to the Google Classroom. I know that's what we use in my fieldwork, and I'm excited to show my fieldwork teacher this because it's creative writing and I know she would love to use it. But it connects to Google Classroom, which is so nice. Then it also has tutorials on how to do everything. So it's really easy to learn how to use. It took me like probably 10 minutes to figure out how to use it, which was really nice. And then it also has audio and text. So you can hear things, but you can also read things. So it makes it more accessible, which is nice. And then they have like a free option, but also they have a teacher reimbursement program, which is really cool. So this is something that can be used like in any classroom. So I'd be surprised if a district like didn't pay for it after you have proposed it and everything, but you never know, funding, sometimes they can't. So they have this teacher reimbursement program where if you pay for it with your own money and then your school decides to buy it like the next year, you just reach out to them and they will reimburse you for what you paid with your money. So they just don't do it like in every circumstance, but if your school ends up buying it after you've used it, then they will, which I think is really cool because once it's proven to be successful, schools probably are more willing to invest and use their funding for it. So then you get your money back, which is nice. But the free version does allow you to do a lot. So even if you like can't pay for it individually or the school can't, the free version still allows you to do the basics, which is nice. And I think it honestly, with the audio options and stuff, obviously in younger grades, you may need like an assistant to help or something, but it can really be used in any kind of classroom, which I think is cool. Some of my challenges with it were it was kind of difficult to use like before finding the tutorials and everything, but once I found the tutorials, It was nice. And then if you want more functions like uploading your own images and like characters, which I definitely would, you do have to pay for it. It wasn't ridiculously expensive. Let me actually see what the pricing was. Yeah, so it's $25 a month for like the full access as an educator, which that can get pricey for teachers, especially if you're purchasing other things for your classroom. Um, but they also have like another option that is $8 a month for educators. And then they have the school district custom pricing, um, which is really nice, but it definitely would be something that would be good to invest. So, but yeah, and then it doesn't have, the free version doesn't have many images or animations, which I was kind of upset with, but other than that, I honestly really liked this and I could definitely see myself using it in the classroom. I could see myself using this to have students practice this to speak Latin. Like I could give them Latin and then they could put it into their own little creation, do their voiceover and everything. And it would be like more engaging and interactive for them. Students can also write their own short narrative in Latin, and this would help them practice grammar and composition. So that's not something I did a lot in high school, but it was something I definitely wish I did because we do it in college. So probably in Latin 5 or like the AP level, I would have students write their own narrative and then present it kind of in this way. I think it would be great as like a little project for the end of a unit or something too. You could even use it for like culture topics in a Latin classroom. Students are also able to collaborate with their classrooms and, or not classrooms, excuse me, classmates and do something together. So I could like assign like a little group to make their own storyboard. So it's not as much work. Um, and they could get creative with what they want to do. And I think that really does help reach the higher levels of blooms, which is really cool and nice because that's what we want as teachers, is to have our students reach the high levels of blooms. But yeah, and then also I said it could be great for practicing translating our narratives that we do in class. So students can write their translation and then put it into the storyboard. So it's not just like, oh, I have to translate this, but they can be like, oh, I get to translate this and then like make a fun story with it. At least that's how I view it. But yeah, so and then they could even design their own graphics and stuff to go with their translation, like if I had the paid version, which is really cool. But yeah, overall, I definitely really liked this and I could definitely see myself using it in the classroom. And like I said, I'm really excited to share it with my fieldwork teacher. I was excited to share it with you guys because I know it can be used like in so many different ways. But yeah, that is elementary.